Hi everyone and welcome to my place. I've had requests after requests asking what do you do when you've got a big form and then you've got like little forms like this alstroemeria with something like a protee. Can you use them? Well, yes you can. These are the flowers like alstroemeria. I call those transitional or trans-seasonal materials. It's really easy to make. Give me a few seconds, I'll get myself together, we'll unravel this and I'll show you how easy it is to put these forms and combinations together. Okay, I've unraveled it right back to the basics. Big heavy flower needs big heavy container. Now you're probably looking at this container and thinking, oh, you know, it's not very nice colour. But as I've said on lots and lots of occasions, if you're ever stuck, just look at what nature has done. So nature's provided these, they're actually the little dying off bits, but they've probably got bruised, but those little colours there reflect into there. Right, the other thing is, that family, that big flower, and those leucadendrums are of the same season. This magnolia is around all year. This is sort of like a spring summer flower. This here, this Brasilia, that's the kind of form that's also around most of the year. Right, to start, I've got a big dull form here, and I've only got 3 leaves, so I've put the 3 leaves in, and you put those in with a sort of kind of equal distance between each of your placement. The lovely thing here is that with that dull tonal value there, and with this lovely broad leaf, with its lovely luster and sheen, it's actually bringing the container to almost to life, but not, well, you can never bring that to life, but see what it's doing? It's sort of giving this lovely luster. Also, that leaf there going over the side is breaking the edge of your container. Right, the next thing to go in, working from the base up, is to put your magnolia leaves in. The reason I'm using the magnolia is because that colour is also reflected back into the container. So if you're ever stuck, just look at your container and then look at the reverse of your leaves, because that there to me is just as beautiful as that top colour. And also, when you look at that green compared to that green, that it's quite a dainty, even though it's sort of like a big form, it's actually quite dainty in texture compared to this here. That there's sort of like, I'd call that a medium sheen, and that is a high sheen. So we've got these 2 green complements that are actually starting to add a bit more life and a bit more depth. Okay, so with these, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in between those leaves. So I've got, where I've got the space between this leaf and this leaf, put this foliage down and into there. And it doesn't matter if it's sort of sticking up just a little bit further, because this is sort of, this flower here, when I see it, is not really the most regulus of flowers. It's sort of like a really lovely, heavy, earthy flower. So that's the type of design I want to do. Right, so I've got foliage there, another little bit there, and then I'm just going to take that up, around and down into there, so that sort of comes over the edge. And when you look into that, so you've got the plane that's going this way, and then you've got that into there, so that fills those 2 areas up quite beautifully. Right, the next thing is to get your biggest form, and that's it, the biggest, heaviest thing, and then just shove that down into the middle. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, oh, you're righto, Astar, that's looking really fabulous. You've got all these lovely leaves and then this big fat thing in the middle. Well, do not worry, because we've got that sorted. Right, with the leucs, which as I said are part of the same family, now I've got 5 of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place these around the outside of my arrangement with sort of like equal distance. So I've got 1 there, 1 there and 1 there, but actually I've got 5. So what I'm going to do is I'll take that out and sort of try and have these as uniform as possible. So we'll put 1 into there. I've got 1 left, so let's just take that to there so that that actually is sticking up as if it was growing. Right, then let's look at the alstroemeria. So I've used my biggest, I've gone to my next sort of semi-heavy weighted flower, and now let's bring in the alstroemeria. Now that's sort of like a fluffy form, and it's quite sort of delicate, so have that sticking out. So now what's happening is, from this tightness, that form, the alstroemeria going out, is making that quite light. The other thing I wanted to show you is, when you see the reverse of that petal there, that colour actually is reflected back into the container. So I've got these tones and these tints, and I've got these heavy forms with light forms that are all helping to make that just a little bit lighter than what it was. So I'll put a bit into there like so, and I'll bring another bit to go into there. Just push that down into there. Now look what's happening now. It's sort of like that big heaviness is actually now being visually diffused. And into there I'll put that, and then I've got one left. So what I think I'll do, and I can because I'm doing the designing, I'm just going to put that into there, because that there, when I look at it, is sort of like slightly off center. So just by putting that into there, it's sort of that bulkiness of that yellow, sort of like bringing that balance in. Right, now with the Brasilia, what I want to do with that is to just push that down and into there, and look what that does now. So you've got this lovely form here, and then you've got those little wee forms of the Brasilia there that sort of like stop the eye from moving. So I've got a bit there. Let's bring a bit around to there, and this is starting to have even more movement. Right, and also when you look, hold on, there's the best part to look at it. Not the most perfect design, but that's okay because I'm teaching you lots today. When you look into that little Brasilia there, and then the colorways of that, and then look into that white there, we're all sort of starting to marry up. I like that. Right, now you can leave it as it is, but I think that this needs a wee bit more movement. And to create the movement, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use little bits of willow, and I'm going to stick those into there. So, and also what's happening is the eye hits that big heavy base, comes up into the flowers, ups and downs, dips and lows and highs, and then it hits the willow, and it starts to take the weight, the visual weight of that out of the arrangement and away from it, to give it some really lovely lightness and to give it some more movement. So these just get all shoved in and around like so. And of course you will have more time than I have, but the boys have told me I talk far too much. Get on, get in, get out, get it done, and let people get on with doing what they need to do at home, because we're all busy people. So, and then you can bring some lines down if you wanted to. And the other thing that I've done, which I really don't like doing, but I've done it on for a specific reason, to just show you that I've cut all of these, blunt cut them. So what's actually happening visually is your eye's hitting this, it's coming up, it's floating over these beautiful leaves here, it's hitting each of the little alstroemeria, which are nice and dainty. It then crashes down into these lovely lukes here, which have also got that colour reflected into them. And then the whole eye just comes in and goes clunk there. By cutting these off, it just helps to contain the arrangement within the confines of the container. So I hope that I have been of assistance, because as I said, today's lesson is all about bringing big heavy forms with light forms. This is one way. There are many more, and I'll share with those with you another day. Thanks for watching.